welcome to another up close video. Today's one is looking at one of the sets that are coming out in the birthday week for 2021 for Tonic, and this set is called So Much Fun, and it is kind of similar to a stamp club or a showcase kind of Stampin Die set, where you've got your gorgeous A5 stamp set and you've also got an A5 die set. They are kind of basically standalone kind of sets, although a couple of dies do cut out a couple of the stamps as well. So it's basically a standalone die set and stamp set, but they go together really nicely and a couple of dies do coordinate. Plus you can also obviously put your stamped sentiments on cards that you've just used the dies to create, and you can also have your little die characters with your little stamped characters as well. And to go with the set, you've also got a little box of 10 shaker blisters, and these actually you can use them to create a shaker character, and that can either be the penguin where you use the arm piece to go around the edges and you've got his little feet and you can put his face in there and his tummy, but you can also turn it into a snowman as well, because you've also got the little twig arm, and then you've got all the kind of accessories like the earmuffs, the woolly hat, a scarf, mittens that you can use for either the penguin or the snowman as well. So I actually had the opportunity to do some cards for the packaging for these. So all of the cards that you see on the packaging are ones that I previously did, and you will be seeing these later on in the video. It was quite a while ago, so I can't actually remember 100% what I said in those clips. So when I'm walking you through the Stampin Die sets now, I might repeat something later on in the video, but hopefully, you know, you won't mind that too much. But this is the gorgeous shaker that you can create with the penguin, and there are different ways of adding the details onto the shaker blister or inside the shaker blister to make the character look different. I do prefer to put the face and the tummy and stuff on the outside of the blister, just so that you're not getting the shaker pieces like shaking in front of their face, or you could put the belly inside. That would be that would still look really fine, and have the face just outside of it so that you're not shaking in front of his little face. But there are different ways of doing it. I do prefer to put the details on the outside of the blister, but I'm sure there'll be more inspiration over on the Tonic website where you can buy this. You can usually scroll down and they've got like other crafters videos and stuff. I'm sure there'll be more inspiration of different ways of how to create your shakers as well, which will be really lovely. And actually, thinking about that shaker shape, that way up, it could even be some kind of light bulb. So you could go like completely non-Christmas and turn this into a light bulb. You could have like the little filament inside it and do yellow behind with like yellow and gold shaker bits inside, and I think that would look really lovely as like a funky little light bulb as well. So I just thought of that idea too. So hopefully that and like all of the other cards that I'll show you in this video will give you a few ideas of how you want to use this Stampin Die set. But I do think that this one is going to be a really lovely one for children's Christmas cards, or just to send people who you know need a little bit of cheering up, and a lovely cute little character, or these gorgeous little penguins will really put a smile on their face, or anybody actually that just loves penguins. I know quite a few people who really do love penguins, whether it's for a birthday card, a Christmas card, thank you card, any kind of occasion, they just love penguins. So obviously you can use these little fellas for different occasions as well. There's nothing about the actual penguin that is Christmassy at all. You could even maybe cut your own like swimming trunks for him, and he could be a summer penguin on the beach. Or this little one here doesn't have any scarves or hats or anything on it, so it can definitely be for all round, like all through the year, which is great. You also have other little elements, like there is a little robin, but again you could colour him to be any kind of different bird. And then you've also got the trees, which you could make into just like evergreen trees that could be around all year. And then you've also got fairy lights, which they are like more associated with Christmas, but just turning them into warm white or cool white fairy lights. You could have them in the back of a wedding card or a birthday card or something as well. So I think they're really versatile. And then you've also got like little presents. You've got a stamped present, and then you've got a couple of die cut presents as well, which again all year round. But then if you are looking for something just for your Christmas cards, this is also a great set just for creating lots of different Christmas cards. I've done 7 different things with it now. I think I have 6 cards and then 1 like standalone item as well. So this would also be brilliant for creating decorations to go on your tree. This little guy as a decoration looks so cute. Look how sweet he is. And I've just used snowflakes inside him, but if you have any black confetti, I think that would look really nice inside as well, because it would give it more of a subtle kind of look rather than the silver and the iridescent kind of ones that I've used inside this little one's tummy. But I think if you were doing little characters like this to hang on the tree, I was thinking you could hang it by the headband of the ear muffs, because I actually put 3 together to make that quite sturdy, and you could just hang it on the tree like that. But you could also do the method of putting foil, like food safe foil over the back of it, and having actual like chocolates or treats inside the belly of the penguin as well, which would be a really fun idea. Or any small kind of little gifts, actually, maybe even a necklace. You could probably fit a necklace inside there as a cool way of, you know, displaying that kind of a gift as well, which would be really lovely. So I think it looks so cute making them like this. And you can obviously make this a snowman as well. You'll see in my sped up video, I've filmed 3 sped up videos for all of the samples that I've created, but I think I'm going to keep 2 of them until December for my CRaFTi Advent, because I kind of used up all my videos last year, so I need to stock up on them again. So I'm not sure if I'll put this one up now or put one of the other ones up, but you will get to see it eventually. But anyway, you'll see in that video how I cut the feet off of the front one and the back one, so that I could then stick orange feet onto the middle one that's in there of the die cuts. So you can easily follow that curve round and snip off portions to turn this into a snowman, was what I was trying to get at. So you can snip off the little arms of the penguin, and you can snip off the feet, and then it will just look like a snowman as well if you'd rather have hanging snowmen. Or you can do a mixture of both of them. I think both of these would look really cute on a Christmas tree. Lots of different ones decorated differently. I do love purple for Christmas, which is why I did this one purple, and the other card that I've also done here is also in purple colours as well, and I did that one as the snowman. So that's using both of the shaker pockets, having the snowman cut into the card or the penguin cut out of the card, but you could easily have done the penguin onto the card as well, or cut the snowman out. You know, you just cut all these main pieces in white rather than black, and then snip off the hands and the feet off of it to turn it into a snowman as well. But I do love purple, that's why I did these. But the actual cards that I did for the packaging, I did go with traditional colours, so it's all like red, greens and yellows, which I thought looked really lovely as well. So lots of different colour schemes will go really nicely with these stamps and dies. So let's actually properly have a look at the Stampin' Die sets as well. So the dies that you're getting, oh, and because this is kind of more of like Stamp Clubby showcase. No, it's more of a showcase, isn't it? Because you've got the magnetic sheet is what I'm trying to say. So you have that actual A5 magnetic sheet in there to store your dies on. So it is more of a showcase, because it's the showcase ones that kind of have the actual storage sheet on there as well. And then you just have the stamp set separately. So if you're going to keep these in one of the ring binders, I'll link them both below. There's either the duck egg blue one, which says designer's choice on it, but you can obviously store anything in it, or the orange one that says Tonic Studios on it. These will fit perfectly in there, and if you buy one of those folders, they actually come with 6 of the A5 folders with the holes in and 6 of the magnetic sheets, so you could use one of the folders to put your stamp set in as well if you want to keep everything together. So there are lots of different ways of storing your bits and pieces, which is really nice. And all the magnetic sheets that Tonic do are double-sided, so if you've bought something else from this birthday week celebration or another Christmassy kit or designer's choice or stamp club or showcase that you want to keep together, you could put the rest of the dies on the back of this sheet as well. So lots of extra space for storing different dies, which is really lovely. So looking at this, the main portion is to create the gorgeous shaker that goes with the blister set that you can buy, and there are multiple dies within here to create the different characters. I'm sure you could think up more characters as well, actually. That kind of a body could be, you could turn it into a cute little chubby robin, actually, maybe even with the wings as well. Maybe not the feet, maybe it would look more like a robin without the feet. But yeah, you could definitely turn this into different characters, maybe even a chubby little cute polar bear or something as well. And actually, yes, the, I haven't got the dies here, I put them away, I had them out the other day. But also the bunny rabbit and the bear that they brought out probably like a year ago now. I'll link them below as well because I'm pretty sure you can still get them. Obviously they had different faces for them too, like a different little muzzle and stuff. So you could combine this shape with those facial features and stuff to turn this into a different creature as well, which would be really cute. So yeah, there's lots of different ways of mixing and matching your different sets as well. But basically, this is the outside one. This cuts like the main basic piece that will make it look like a penguin, or if you're going to do a free standalone snowman that you want to be a shaker, you can also cut this but snip off the wings and the feet. Then this die, the next one in, is the one that cuts you the aperture that works perfectly with the blister. So whether you're cutting these two together to make a frame to go around the blister, or whether you're just using this one to cut it into the cardstock so that you can recess the blister behind your main panel so that it'll pop out through this as well. You know, that's just giving you the versatility of adding the frame, or, you know, just cutting it straight into the card. And then you also get this one that gives you the kind of features for the penguin, but again, I'm sure you can turn it into other different animals as well. Even, actually, yes, this way round, imagine a nose here, a little smile maybe, some eyes, antlers coming out the top. That could be a reindeer as well. So it's kind of like the shape of a reindeer's head almost. And you could even have it with the kind of brace around his muzzle as well. Which would look really cool. So you can even turn it into a reindeer, just flipping it up different ways and stuff. Cut all the pieces out and turn them around and see what you can think up from using the pieces. Even actually maybe turning that into a big rabbit's face. This could be like the muzzle of the rabbit, and you put the nose on here. So there are so many different things that you could turn this into if you just sort of have a think about it. Maybe even just Google some pictures of stuff and then have a look at what die shapes you have and see if you could turn it into them as well. But this is the piece, I've gone off on so many tangents in this video already, but anyway, this is the piece that you can use to create the face of your penguin and the tummy of your penguin. And you do also have this piece that gives you the little facial features with the little rosy cheeks and the nose for the penguin, but also you can use that nose as the nose for the snowman as well. It's tiny, it kind of makes a little stubby carrot nose, but for the snowman as well, so that works really nicely. So those are like the main character building pieces basically. And then you also have, I love this one, this set of fairy lights. It is just so brilliant, and it's really great because what you can do is you can cut it out of whatever colour you want the wire to be. So usually it's kind of green, or sometimes you can get white ones and stuff. So you can cut it out of that, then cut it out of 2 or 3 other colours as well, and then you can go along and snip each bulb out of the coloured ones and replace them onto here, so you can give yourself a multicoloured light strand. Or if you just wanted to stick to a warm white or a cool white, you could use like a cream or a white cardstock as well. And also to give them that kind of three-dimensional glass bulb sort of look, you can also use your Nuvo crystal glaze over the top to give that kind of a shiny look to them as well. Or you can also just use your Nuvo drops too. The glitter ones in particular are brilliant for things like that because they're very like malleable when they're dry, so they don't mind sort of covering over a slightly larger area than maybe a normal Nuvo drop as well. So that's a great way of making them look even more like fairy lights. Then we've also, I won't pick everything off the sheet, otherwise I'll never be able to get it back on there again, but we've also got lots of different elements to dress up the characters. So you've got the hat, which works equally well on the penguin and the snowman, same with the scarf as well, and you have the exterior and interior detail for these, so you can actually cut the solid one and then cut the solid with the detail together and layer them on top of each other as well, which looks really lovely. And you could even paper piece back in some of these pieces as well if you'd rather do it that way. Same idea for the scarf. You've got like this little interior piece that kind of cuts out little random shapes. They're kind of little rectangles and almost irregular pentagon kind of shapes to give that sort of stripy look to the scarf. When it's all cut out, you get that kind of almost stripy effect to the scarf. That's the hat cut out in the 2 different colours as well. And also you could use glue and glitter across the top bit here, maybe even on the pom-pom, to give it more of like a Santa's hat kind of look. If you cut it from red, you could then do the white kind of trim on it as well, or even you could use your Nuvo expanding mousse. You can actually scoop some expanding mousse out and put it into a piping bag that you would use for cake making, and then you can kind of pipe it on to get it in a specific area, and then you can heat it as well to give a kind of puffy sort of look too, like fake snow. Or you can actually just use fake snow, actually. Just put glue and sprinkle some of that fake snow on as well. Or just chunky kind of glitter. Works really nicely for that kind of thing. Then we also have the ear muffs, which are a lovely delicate piece between here. And when I did the one that I turned into a kind of hanging decoration, I stuck 3 together so that this skinny piece in the middle was a lot stronger. And then I also actually stuck, I cut 2 from purple and stuck them on either side, so the actual like muff part looks purple, and then just the band in the middle is white. You've also got a pair of mittens, so also for this kind of thing where you're doing a 3D version, they are identical, so you can have the mitten on the front and the back, and it looks really nice and neat. So you kind of got the back view of the penguin and the front view of the penguin, which looks really lovely. You've also got a tiny little button, which is fantastic for the snowman. Just putting that little button down the centre of him works brilliantly, but I'm sure there are loads of other different uses where you might want a little button rather than having to use a real button, or you might not have a button that's small enough for something. You've then got a lovely large candy cane, which you can give the snowman or the penguin as like a walking stick, or you could use this to create a border around a card, maybe even like a fancy one-edged border, and put the 2 of them back to back and like hook the loopy bits around each other to give a different kind of look. You've got the gorgeous tree, and the outside die for the tree actually cuts out the coordinating stamp in the stamp set, which is brilliant. But you also get the interior like flat metal piece with the detail that cuts out, so you could cut this, perhaps cut it in white with the detail, and then cut the solid one just in green and lay the green one behind the white one, and then it would look like these little bits poking through are still the green tree and the rest of it is covered in snow, or vice versa. If you wanted the tree to look more green and there's only a little bit of snow on it, you could do it the opposite way round. So really gorgeous tree. And if you want it to have a trunk at the bottom, you could either especially if you cut it from white, you could then just draw across with a Nuvo alcohol pen and colour the bottom of that to be brown. Or you can, if you want to keep everything just cardstock, you could cut this bottom portion again just with brown card, and then like trim it out to go on there, or even trim the bottom of the tree and put the brown behind as well, depending what kind of neatness of cutting that you can do to make it look right. Then you've also got a couple of different presents. I love this one. It looks really modern, and I think, I can't actually remember if I used that now or if that was something different, where I cut loads of these and I stuck them all down and then put glitter over the background. That could be a card that's later on, or it could be something that I did a while ago and I've forgotten where it's from. But that's another idea for doing that kind of present, and also you could do it with this present as well. And this one actually has the detail separate in the centre. So this one is a standalone die, which just cuts out the present with the sort of crossed ribbon on there, although the central piece down there actually cuts out to make it look like a cross and one piece is overlapping the other. But this one actually has the separate diagonal stripe in the centre, so you can just have it as a solid present if you want, or you can cut it out of solid and place it behind so that you're filling in all of the gaps. And saying that as well, you do also get a square die here. I don't know if this is the actual purpose, but that fits perfectly behind this present, so you can actually cut that out of a solid colour and place it behind the present, which is really great as well. And you do also have a smaller square there, which I don't actually think that coordinates with anything, but if you look at that little aperture that's in there, it looks like a gift tag. So if you cut that and embossed it, or used the rubber mat or just like an embossing tool afterwards, you'd actually have the look of like a present with a little gift tag on as well, for an extra kind of little detail. Then the wintry kind of dies that are in here is you've got a lovely star which goes perfectly on top of the tree, or you can use it, the penguin could be holding it and putting it on top of the tree from the penguin in the stamp set as well. And then you have 3 different snowflakes, all in varying sizes. So you've got quite a nice large sized one here, a middle sized one and a slightly smaller one. So you've got 3 gorgeous snowflakes. And then you also have 2 sentiments in here. You've got North Pole, which actually is a verso die again. So the North Pole would cut into your card if you didn't use the outside edge, but you can use the outside edge to cut it out. And then you can also use the outside edge to back it with a solid colour of cardstock as well. And then you also have the Winter Wonderland. I thought it said Merry Christmas, but it says Winter Wonderland. And then there's 2 little snowflakes hidden within that design as well. And it's quite a nice swirly design. You can see the swirls coming off the W's on there. And you also have the bubble to go around that. So that completely cuts the sentiment. And then you have the extra bubble to go around the edge of it as well. So I think I've gone through all of the dies. And I'll be back in 1 second to show you all the stamps. Okay, so these are the gorgeous little stamps, and on the packaging of this you can see where I've combined the stamped little penguin with the shaker penguin, or just having the stamped penguins by themselves. And I also did another card, you can just about see it there, where he's standing on the stool putting the star on the top of the tree. So later on in the video you'll see that card close up as well. But I really love these cute little penguins. They're really sweet, and they do actually match the actual die set. The way the illustrator has done the faces, it's actually like got the same kind of nose, the little cheeks and the eyes, so it matches really nicely together, which means you can use them in conjunction with each other, which is great. Because a lot of the time you get stamps and dies that are supposed to go together, but then they're like completely different styles and it doesn't really work. But I love that these actually go together really nicely. And you also have, as well as having the characters in here, you've also got extra little accessories as well, which you probably could even use on your die cut characters too. For example, you've got like a little stamped mouth and stamped buttons, which you could then use with the snowman, especially if you were just cutting it from cardstock and like stamping the details on. And you could even give him a Santa's hat rather than the die cut hat as well. So lots of different ways of using it. And I just thought I didn't show you those 2 last little dies that you get, because one of them kind of coordinates. So those are the last 2 dies that I just forgot to show you. Just 2 little circles, perfect for making snowballs if you want to do a snowball fight on your card. But also the larger one would cut out that stamped image, I think. The stamp is actually wobbly, like it's a wobbly snowball, but you could use it to cut out that snowball if you wanted. So that's technically like the second one that would cut out, and you possibly could even use it to cut out that snowflake as well. But that one and the tree are basically the 2 that would coordinate with the stamp set. So let's have a close-up look at the little characters first. So you've got this little fella who is ice skating, and he's got a scarf on already. And the great thing about the way they have given you the scarves and the jumpers on the characters is they've left them open and like empty, so you can take a black pen and make that a stripy scarf or a spotty scarf, or not even have to draw the outlines with the pen. You could just use your colouring technique or paper piecing with a patterned paper to give that a pattern as well, which is really lovely. Same with his little mittens, you could do that too, even with his little skates as well. That would look really nice. You've got a little robin, which you could colour to be another bird for a different time of year as well, so that should work really nicely. You've got this cute little penguin, which he could be laughing or he could just be being mischievous, but he looks really sweet, and he's got a gorgeous little jumper on, so you can do the where you stamp on a paper pad and then you trim it out and paper piece his jumper back in with a pattern. You could just colour it, you could draw a pattern all over it, you could do the negative masking technique where you would stamp him out, and instead of cutting around the outside of him to mask him to do a different kind of technique, you would instead trim away everywhere that is his jumper, so you'd be left with like a square that has the jumper part open in it, and you could place it back over the top and then use any of the stamps from the stamp set or anything from your stash to give it a pattern as well. So you could use like the little snowflake that's here, you could use some of the dots, the star, anything you could add to his jumper. You could even give him a mistletoe jumper as well. So really do think about masking techniques as well for changing the look of the little characters. Then you've also got this little one who is kind of reaching up, and they've given you that suggestion on the packaging that he's kind of reaching up to possibly put the star, whether it's the stamped star or the die cut star, on the top of the Christmas tree. And actually the die cut star is also 5-pointed, so it might cut that one out as well. I haven't actually tried it, but it might cut that one out, which is great too. But yeah, he can be reaching for the top of the Christmas tree, and then you also have this little step ladder, and he works perfectly standing on top of the step ladder reaching with the star to put on top of the tree, so that makes a really great scene just building that up straight away. And then to go with the one that is ice skating, you've got a little patch of ice, you've got like movement so that can be coming out from behind him so it looks like he's speeding along, or you've also got a dashed swirl, so you can do a dashed swirl so it looks like he's been pirouetting on the ice as well, or doing like a double axel, spinning around. Then you've also got lots of extra little details that you could use within a scene to tell a story, or just to like build a background as well. You've got like the little Santa's hat, so he could be wearing the Santa's hat, maybe he's stolen it from somebody, or the skating one could be wearing the Santa's hat, or maybe the Santa's hat's flown off because he's been skating too fast. You can add this penguin could be holding the bauble in his hand and adding it to the tree. You can mask off baubles and stamp them onto the tree, or stamp the baubles first, mask them off, and then stamp the tree over the top so it looks like they're already on the tree. Or you could fussy cut them out and put them on the top if you'd rather, because it saves a little bit of hassle of masking. You've got a little present which you could build up a whole background, or use them underneath the tree, or again this one could have like pinched a present from another penguin, or the robin could be flying off with the present holding it. You've got a little cluster of mistletoe as well with like a little bow at the top, so you can build a scene using that too. You've got the little smile. You could have I was thinking of doing this but I didn't. I have done this in the past a few times. This could be a melted snowman, and then you've got the face and the buttons, and you could like draw a little carrot in there as well, as in like the snowman's got too hot and he's melted. You could even put the hat in the puddle as well. You've got a snowball if you want to do a snowball fight, depending on the angle at which you place these little characters. If you placed him maybe more this way so he's almost flat, it could be looking like he's just launched a snowball, maybe at this one. So that, you know, there's loads and loads of different ways of creating different funny scenes with these little characters, and then also even more opportunities to like combine them with the dies as well. And especially, I mean, this one could be putting the Santa hat on the top of a snowman that you've created from the dies as well, or he could even be holding any of the other accessories, or you could even have maybe try some reverse stamping using your jelly plate or one of those solid stamps that you can stamp onto, and then you kind of press your paper onto it and pull the reverse image off. You could have two of these penguins the opposite way round holding the string of fairy lights between them as well, so that, yeah, so many different ways of creating different scenes and stuff. And then you have a ton of different sentiments that are really funny, punny kind of sentiments, which I love. So you've got Jolly Holiday, Have an Ice, so you can do Have an Ice Christmas. You've got Snow Buddy Like You, well, there isn't actually the word theirs, but Snow Buddy Like You. Have a, and then you can do Chilled Christmas, Have a Merry Christmas, Have a Jolly Holiday, Have an Ice Christmas. You can really mix that have with loads of different things. Having So Much Fun with You, so Having So Much Fun with You, or Jolly Holiday with You. I Love Chilling With You, Merry Christmas by itself, and then you've got It's Cold Outside as well. So lots of different sentiments that you can use, mix and matchings with each other. And actually even other dies that you might have, sentiment dies, I'm sure a lot of these would go with them. I often like to, when I'm doing either birthday cards or Christmas cards, you know when you have like Happy Christmas or Merry Christmas or Happy Birthday, if you've got a die that's maybe quite large but you're doing a small card, I often like to have one of the words as just a stamp. So if you had an old Tonic die that said Christmas or even Merry Christmas, you could snip off the Merry and just use the word Merry, or you could keep the word Merry and just stamp the word Christmas to make it take up less space on your card as well. So there's also that kind of option too. So now we've had a look at all of the stamps and dies, I'll give you another little quick look at these two that I've made. This is the penguin using the shaker blister. You can also, you don't have to, but you could also create a see-through penguin. So you can actually put acetate over the back, just use one bubble, put acetate over the back, and then you'd be able to see through the penguin. Or that might work better for the snowman, because I definitely wanted to use black card on the back, because obviously a penguin is black or dark grey, and I didn't want you to be able to see through him. But the see-through idea would work really nicely for a snowman, because it would almost look like icy, that, you know, you could kind of see through him. Or you could put 2 blisters back to back if you wanted to, but I mean, you do get 10 in the box, so that's a decent amount, but you know, you might not want to use 2 blisters on one project, but you could do that if you wanted to. That is the cute little penguin. And then also this card as well, just creating the snowman into a shaker, because on the other cards that I had done, I think I only used the snowman, I think I only made him from die cuts. I think I did. I can't 100% remember it. It was quite a while ago I made the other cards, and you can't see all of them on the packaging, so, but you'll see them in a second. But yeah, I thought cute little shaker snowman as well, using the little twigs, and I just coloured them with a pen. I coloured his nose with a pen as well, and then used two shades of purple for cutting out all the different details. And then for the slope of snow at the bottom, I just used my long bladed pair of scissors to cut an arch, but then because it wasn't completely perfect, I just took one of the Tonic thread cutters and then scraped along the edge, so it kind of gives that fluffy look of snow, but you could have put a line of glue and some glitter on there instead of doing that as well. And then I've just finished it off with a sentiment and a scattering of little snowflake sequins in there as well. Inside this little guy, I used the rainbow quartz triangles. I love these, you can tell by how I've hardly got any left. I think this one came out in the Dreaming colour trend, but they're really, really lovely, these ones, and perfect for anything icy and snowy, because they're white, but even if you put them against white card, you can still see them really nicely because they have that like iridescent finish to them. And then inside the penguin and on the background here, I've used a mixture of different snowflake confettis. This one, the silver tinsel snowflakes, came out in the Let It Snow confetti collection from Nuvo, and you had 3 other different bluey, silvery kind of confettis. And then this one came out very recently in the Santa's Workshop colour trend. These are the Starlet Snowflakes. I love these because you might think they kind of look similar, but this one is plain silver snowflakes. So the original silver tinsel snowflakes are plain silver, but in this set, these Starlet Snowflakes, the silver ones have that rainbow finish to them, so they've got that iridescence to them, and it's actually a mixture of silver and clear sequins. So there are clear iridescent snowflakes in here as well as the silver iridescent snowflakes, which I think just looks so lovely. And especially in a shaker card, you know, you've instantly got a mix of 2 different sequins just having the one pot of these. And this comes in a pack with this confetti, a set of sequins and 2 different glitters. So if you want a complete mixture of Nuvo to try with glitter, confetti and sequins, I think this set is a really good one to go for as well. So I will pass you on to Past Me to show you the other samples that I've done. Okay, so I've got 5 examples to show you of cards that I've created. These first 2, I filmed a sped up video on these 2, so I'm not sure whether that will be up around the same time as this, or whether I might save it till the end of the year when I do my CRaFTi Advent series. But I have filmed 2 sped up videos, so depending how good I am at getting things edited, there'll be 1 or 2 after this up close video. So this one, I was just focusing on the stamps. So I've created a little scene with the gorgeous little ice skating penguin, and I've put like the sort of puddle or patch of ice down the bottom, and done the little gorgeous swell, which kind of looks like he's done an axle spin on his ice skate, and then the little sort of wind lines to show that he's moving across the card. And obviously I had to have the little robin watching him as well. But both of these cards are just really simple, just using the stamps and a little bit of masking as well. So I masked off like his foot portion here, and I put the hat down first and then masked it off. And I also drew stripes on his scarf as well, just to show how I mean, they've deliberately done it so that the scarves on all of the penguins are just plain, but obviously you can just take a black pen and add your own pattern onto them, or a stripy design as well. And the pen that I like to use is the Arteza Fine Liner, because this one is fine to use with your alcohol pens, and these are the brand new Nuvo alcohol pens, and it works really nicely in conjunction with that. It doesn't bleed or anything. So I just added stripes to his scarf, and then I just coordinated all of the clothes that he's wearing to be green and red. So a few different tones of green for his scarf and a couple of shades of red to blend. And then I've pulled across the same red for the robin, and then added the little browns, a few little colours of brown for the robin as well. It just turned out so sweet. And then the background, I've used that snowflake plus a couple of the alcohol pens as well, and look how lovely Tonic make their colours match. This is the mint macaroon ink pad, and this is the 360, I think the number is, alcohol marker, and they just match so perfectly. And these are the obviously the Tonic red markers, and look how perfectly they match the chili red textured Craft Perfect cardstock as well. So everything goes really nicely together. And the greens that I've used on a couple of the other cards are the fern green and the avocado green, and they really match some of these lovely green tones from the markers as well. And then to finish this one off and give a little bit of texture and sparkle, I've actually used the White Blizzard Nuvo glitter drops. So it's just the clear one with the sort of AB kind of glitter in there that reflects a bit of pink and green. I thought that would go well for the red and green on this card. And then very similar kind of style, keeping it really simple, just doing a little bit of masking. So I masked off his foot so that he could be standing on this kind of little step ladder to help him put the star on the tree. And then I also masked off the rest of him and the star so that I could stamp the tree behind. I'm not sure he's going to reach the top of that tree. I probably should have rearranged the card a little differently so that he could actually reach, but it's quite a funny little design, having someone, you know, trying to put the star on the top of the tree. I did the background in exactly the same way. For the ground here, again, I was using that Arteza Fine Liner pen just to add some ground to sort of ground the little step stool and the tree and everything. And the only other thing I did differently is on the star on this one, because it's gold, I used the honey gold glitter drops rather than the White Blizzard that I've used in the background for the snow. And I've also used the Nuvo alcohol pens to colour this as well. And this is that avocado green cardstock in the background, and you can see how nicely it matches the greens that I've used to colour the tree in as well. So that is will be one sped up video, just focusing on the stamps. Then I also did another sped up video just focusing on the dies other than the sentiment. I obviously stamped them, but the rest of the scene of the card is all just the dies, minus the sort of snowy hills. I just freehand cut them with scissors, but if you do have a hill kind of border die in your collection, you could easily use that as well. But this first one, I really love this string of fairy lights that's in the die set, and you've got like the curly bits of string coming off the edges. It does fit absolutely perfectly like this across the card, or you can have it sort of, I think maybe it hangs more like the top of the card and then drapes down. But I wanted to show how you can also drape it across the corner and then attach one end sort of behind another light and have more coming off. So it kind of gives the illusion that I don't know, maybe this is some kind of town centre and they're doing the tree lighting ceremony and they've got all of the fairy lights going up all over the place. And then for the tree, I kept it really simple. I tried not to do too much shading. I don't think I did. Well, maybe it was just the body of the snowman on this one, but I tried to just keep it solid colours of cardstock, because I know I always go over the top and like try and shade bits in, and then I'm like, why did I do that? Now I have to shade everything in to make it like work together. So I tried to keep it really simple. So this is the fern green, and then the avocado green is in the background. For the presents, I did actually colour them with pens, but I kept them to a solid colour, and I was using the white Craft Perfect textured cards so that it looked like the other coloured cards, because it's still got the texture on it. And I just decided to do that because I wasn't sure where I was going to place everything on the card and how much of what colour I would need to sort of balance out the colour scheme. So I wasn't sure if I was going to have the large presents in the red or the yellow. So I just thought if I cut it out of white, I can just colour it with my pens, and it makes it really simple. And then the background of both of these is the same background. I just used the large blending brush and tumbled glass Distress Oxide just to do a really light sort of blending, mostly down the centre of the panel. And then I just cut out, I think I did 5 of each of the 3 different snowflakes. So there's this really large one, this gorgeous design, and then this slightly more open kind of design. And you also get the fall away sort of 6-pointed star from the centre of that one as well. I cut them all from the bright white textured card, and then I used the Aqua Shimmer. This one, the Glitter Gloss Aqua Shimmer, and I used a full strength one. This is one I've watered down because I've got the washi tape on it, but I did use a full strength one so that I got that lovely glittery look. I don't know whether, there we go. You can see all that glitter on the white snowflake, and I just placed them all on a piece of scrap paper and scribbled over all of them and left them to dry, and then I could use them on the background of both of the cards. Then for the snowman, I did a bit of shading just with the lightest grey marker, but the lightest cool grey marker. I find cool greys are nicer for snow because snow is very sort of cool or bluey sort of toned. I know these aren't that much of a blue grey, but they work better than the warm greys basically. And so I was using 485, which is the lightest cool grey colour, and the blender to just get a really subtle kind of colour on the snowman, but just to make him look a little bit less flat and more like a round snowman. Then again, I've tried to keep all of the coloured cardstock, just the coloured cardstock, rather than doing a load of shading on it. And I did also freehand cut a carrot nose. You could have used the penguin nose as well for the snowman, but I just really love a carrot nose on a snowman, so I just freehand cut a little carrot kind of shape to use on there. Then to tie in the carrot nose kind of colour to the rest of the card, I just matted the 2 parts of the sentiment onto a piece of the white card that I'd coloured with the same pen as the carrot, so that it matched nicely together. And then for both of them, just to ground them, I just cut like a slope of cardstock. So this one goes up sort of behind the snowman, just so he kind of has more of an area to sit. And then this one dips down a little bit where the tree is, so that the tree didn't have to be too high up on the card, because I knew I wanted all of these fairy lights on it as well. And then to make it look a little bit more like snowy rather than just a piece of white card stuck on, again I took that lightest grey marker and I did a line across the top, a couple of sort of lines underneath things, like underneath snowman, a few dotty bits, and then I just went over with the chisel with the blender just to blend it all out a little bit so it wasn't as harsh. And that's how I did both of those. This one as well, you'll see on the next card I made the penguin into a shaker, but you could equally have done this card with the snowman shaker on there as well. You would have to stick your hill on first and then die cut your aperture so that the blister would be sort of hidden behind the card front for your card, but you could easily turn this one into a shaker for this card as well. And then the final one that I didn't film this one, but if I have enough time, I might have filmed one using the shaker blisters as well to show you how to do that. But they're really, really simple to do. They basically come with the adhesive on the back of the blister, so you can peel that off, add all your shaker bits inside, put the piece of card on the back of it, and it's all enclosed in there. And then I just run some red liner tape and some glue around the back of the aperture in my card blank that you've got the die to cut, and then I just stick the filled shaker blister behind the card, and that works perfectly for holding it all in place. And then to get the outside edge of this penguin, so for the snowman you wouldn't need anything extra outside, you would literally just have that bulbous kind of shape, and that would be the snowman shaker. But for the penguin, because he's got little arms and little feet as well, you need to cut this extra piece for him. So you basically cut the same die that you used to cut the aperture in the card plus the outside die, and you get like a skinny little frame that you can then place around your shaker blister when it's in place on the card, which is really lovely. And on this one I use the alternative headgear as well. So here I used the hat, but on this one I decided to use the little ear muffs on there. And I also actually brought in the stamps as well. So I thought it kind of looks like well, my original idea was that this little penguin had made the big penguin out of snow, but then I was like, that looked a bit boring, you know, having a white penguin. So I thought he looks like he's laughing to me, so I'm thinking maybe he's laughing because the big penguin with all the shaking snowflakes inside him is doing something funny and making him laugh. And then I also used the little North Pole die at the top, and then Have a Chilled Christmas as the sentiment, picking out different colours to back the sentiments on so that they go together really nicely. I also added a bit of shading to the tummy of the penguin and around the face, and to do the face I didn't want to have to piece back in or colour and piece back in those tiny bits for all of his eyes and cheeks and nose, so I cut 2 of these with the face in, and then I took one, stuck it to a piece of card, coloured through with my alcohol pens with the orangey colour, the light pink, and I used a black glaze pen. Then I let that dry, and then I stuck the other one over the top and added the slight grey shading around it. So it gives a really neat kind of finish without having to paper piece in those fiddly little pieces. I've layered up the little scarf just to give it like a red and white sort of a look, and I've given him the little mittens as well. He has got one under on the other hand under there, but obviously the penguin is placed over the top of it. And then for the background, again I used Tumble Glass Distress Oxide and stamped a few little snowflakes in the background, and used a few of the snowflake confetti that I'd used inside the penguin as well. So I hope you enjoyed seeing the other samples that Past Me just showed you, and I hope you enjoyed this whole up close video as well, looking at the Snow Much Fun Stamp Die and blister set for part of Tonic's birthday week for 2021. Again, this is an online exclusive, and below the video in the description and also on my blog as well, I'll leave affiliated links to all of the products that I've shown you on both of the Tonic websites as well. And what I mean by affiliate links is that if you use that link to place your order, so basically just go to the description, click the link, and it will take you to the Tonic website. If you then put stuff in your basket and place an order, I'll get a small commission of however much you spent on your order at no extra cost to you. So it does not affect you in any way at all. It just, going to the effort to click on the link really helps me out. So, you know, if you do fancy using them, then I really do appreciate it. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you enjoy or have been enjoying the rest of the stuff that's been coming out in birthday week for Tonic as well. I know I've got quite a few videos that have been out or are coming out this week, so around this video I think there's quite a few coming out, so you're going to be busy watching different videos soon. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you again in the next video, which might be tomorrow. So bye!